So we are at the end of the semester, and uh, thank goodness it's been quite the ride. Um, I hope you've enjoyed the class so far. We've got one more lecture, and then it's finals week, and what we're looking at here is your finals project. Um, it should be a fun project. I hope it's fun, and I hope you learn something along the way. And what I'm doing in this video is introducing the project. Hopefully, I can introduce it clear enough in a way where there are few questions on what I'm expecting. So, for this project, because we are distance learning, I've decided to move the project towards Instagram. And I am sure that many of you, if not most of you in the class, have Instagram, that you're active Instagram users. And hopefully, this project comes kind of easy trying to figure out how Instagram works. The goal for this assignment really is to put together an art show on Instagram. And don't worry, I don't want you to use your personal account. I want you to use a fake Instagram account, or a different one. And I'm sure that again, through your experience and through internet tutorials, you'll be able to figure this out. So let's talk about the description. There are 3 elements of your capstone project, including, this is your capstone project, by the way, including research, curating, an Instagram exhibition, and a statement. In these final weeks of the semester, you are to research the art history of a culture that you would like to learn about more. Armed with your research, you will then curate an art show to be seen and experienced on Instagram. You will also write a 1-page statement that will describe the art on your Instagram and explain what ties them all together. So that's the description. If you look through the document, there are 3 pages. I explain all of the elements in these subheadings. So, element 1, research. First, you must find a culture, nationality, or marginalized community that you would like to research from an art historical perspective. The intent of this assignment is to learn about art that has been excluded from mainstream textbooks, and to this point, excluded from this class. Be interested in your chosen culture and be sincere in your approach. Don't choose simply the USA, and don't choose European art or South American art. You may select a microcosm of American art or European or South American art. For example, you might be interested in art from Poland if your family's from Poland, maybe. So you could say, I want to learn about the history of Polish art, or the history of Mexican art, or art from Honduras, for example. Native American is rich, so is African American. Gay or queer art, activist protest art, folk art, outsider art, illegal or censored, etc. Those are all examples. If you're interested in understanding the heritage, your heritage, if your family is from a certain place, you can research the art of that place. Or, like I said, if you're interested in the history of gay art in the United States, go ahead and do that. You can choose just about anything as long as you um, don't choose something that's very broad. If you, as you sort of continue your education at Harper and at every other university, if you were to transfer, you'll realize that all of the history that you'll learn about, um, whether it's art history or other types of history or even English class, you're going to be learning about European history and European art, unless you are studying Japanese or African in particular. Our entire education system is based around European ideas. And so the goal of this project is to break out of those ideas, the European centric thinking. And so really think, where could you take this project? What is interesting to you? What do you want to learn about? So find a microcosm and research it. I have 3 requirements for your research. Research the breadth and history of art within your chosen culture. That means the oldest art all the way to the newest art. I want to know that you've researched everything. Connect the development of artistic styles to contemporaneous events. So if there are events in that history, in the history of that culture, that there is art that's significant to that culture, and there is art about, you should be researching that art. And again, select a marginalized or foreign culture to research. Those are your 3 requirements for research. So on page 2, I want you to curate an Instagram exhibition. After researching the art of your chosen culture, it's time to select 20 different artworks to include in your exhibition. Remember that your chosen artworks must demonstrate the breadth of your research, and they must illustrate the history of that culture within. Again, you've done research. This is how I'm going to know. This is one way I'm going to know the research that you've done, is by the art that you have chosen. Here are your requirements. Select artworks that fit together and illustrate your research. I want to see 20 different artworks. You must choose your art carefully. Why? Because if you are dealing with 500 years of, Polish art history, and you're going to select 20 images or 20 artworks, you better select the correct 20. Again, something that shows the beginning, the middle, and the end. Your chosen artworks should include the very oldest all the way to the very newest. A mix of 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional art is required. So that's drawing and painting, printmaking, that is 2-dimensional. 3-dimensional art is sculpture. You must include some sculpture. In the notes for each image, you must give credit to the artist and describe the size and material. For example, give the title of the artwork, the artist's name, the medium used, and the dimensions. That's the height, the width, the depth. And one more thing, I'm going to add this to the document. I need to know the year in which it was made. The year. So select your images, give the information, and post them on Instagram. The next section is your exhibition statement. To round out this project, you are required to write a one-page statement that describes your concept for the exhibition. The statement should make clear the culture that you chose to research, the reason why you chose the artwork that you did, and elements of what you learned by doing this assignment. I don't need to know everything. I need to know the gist of it, everything that can fit on one page. So here are your requirements. Again, one page. Describe in your statement, describe the culture that you researched. Explain why you chose the artwork that you did and how they tie to your research. Do not talk about 20 artworks. Talk about at least 3, maybe more, but probably 3. So when you are explaining how your artwork connects, reference 3 artworks. Describe what you learned by doing your research. Keep it short. Stick to 1 or 2 ideas. That's 1 paragraph devoted to what you learned. Or you can take all of this information and you can mix it around. It doesn't matter which order it all goes in as long as it's in the statement. Turning in your assignment. On Blackboard, in the Instagrammable Art Show folder, you will turn in this assignment. No late work will be accepted. This is the end of the semester. Keep that in mind. This project is due in how many? In 3 Fridays from now. That is the last day. I have to turn in grades the next day on that Saturday. So I cannot accept any late work. You may, however, turn this project in early. The earlier you turn it in, the sooner you're done with the class and with the semester. So it might be in your best interest to hop to it. So these are the items to turn in. There are 2 items to turn in. A 1-page statement in a .pdf format. You're going to turn that in just like you turn in your essays. And then your Instagram handle. In the turn in folder, include a message where you share your handle with me. Do this when you submit your statement. If you haven't noticed, when you turn in your assignments, there's a little section where you can write a note to me. All you need to do is write your Instagram name in that. However, in addition to sharing your handle as a note, you may also include it in the header of your statement. So if you want to be doubly sure that I get your Instagram handle, you can put it in your statement at the header. But you are required to submit it as a note. That way I can copy and paste it and check out your Instagram. Let's go on to page 3. This gives you some very vague information on how to use Instagram. I assume that most of you have Instagram, and that if you don't, you are able to figure it out. So I didn't go into great detail, but there's also many tutorials and videos on YouTube where they explain how to use Instagram. So I think you'll be able to figure it out. So For this project, you will be using an Instagram account different from your personal account. I want to see in your account the assignment. I don't want to see your trip to Hawaii. From your smartphone, download Instagram from your app store. Create an account and give yourself a name. I don't care what the name is as long as you give the correct name to me. If you are not familiar with Instagram, you should try adding posts and deleting them. Don't wait until the last minute to figure out the application. There are many tutorials on how to use Instagram online and on YouTube. Do your research. It is a pretty easy tool. If after researching how-tos and you still can't figure it out, contact me and we will figure it out together. If you already have Instagram, create a second special account special to this class. So pull up your account and from your profile, tap your name at the top of the screen, and then there is a feature that is a plus sign and it says add account. And that's how you'll get started. If you do not have a smartphone, there are ways to use Instagram on your computer, though I'll admit it is complicated. If we cannot figure out how to get you on Instagram on your computer, I will work with you to come up with some accommodations or alternatives. But my goal is to have everybody going through the Instagram account. Here's grading. Please be aware that you will be graded on the successful completion of the above requirements. Make sure that each bullet point in the above requirement sections are complete or you will receive partial credit. The Instagrammable art show project assignment is worth 20% of your final grade. Please take this assignment seriously and complete it in good time. In my opinion, this assignment is not very difficult. I think you'll be able to do it, and it's not going to take you 2 weeks to complete, or 3 weeks. I think that if you commit yourself to an entire Saturday or one day, you'll be able to get something pretty good going on. So it doesn't, but you know, of course you can, spread it out over several days too. If you have any questions, of course, send me an email and go ahead and get started whenever you're ready. Like I said, this is the last assignment to turn in, and the sooner you turn it in, the sooner you are done with the class. There is one more lecture, so next week be sure to watch the video and take the final quiz.